Hi, friends. Good to see y'all. Thank you for joining tonight. Very excited to continue our Lego Masters rewatch parties. So this has been so much fun this whole summer. We've gotten through episodes 1 through 8 at this point, and we are on to the penultimate episode, episode 9, which is so exciting and so much fun. Hi, Bev. Hi, Missy. Good to see y'all. And I'll see you again later this week, which is fun at Brick Rodeo. But really looking forward to this chat tonight. We had a change in plans, so you may have seen that Corey was on board, and you also have likely heard that Corey and Rebecca are getting ready to have a baby. So with all of that in the air, it felt like maybe this is not the right time. So we're excited to see whenever they have an announcement for us. That'll be really fun. But we have another special guest today, which is Joe. So really looking forward to chatting with him today, and happy that he was able to make it. I've got my notes from watching the episode, and I hope that you all had a chance to rewatch the episode or watch it for the first time. It was very stressful for me to watch, and I had forgotten how stressful of an episode it is, but it's a really, really intense and amazing challenge, and it's going to be a really fun conversation. So I'm going to bring in my friend John.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
Welcome home. You just got back to Dallas today?
I did. I got back at I had a 5 a.m. flight from Denver to Dallas.
Okay.
And then had a little bit of a I wouldn't say like a full day of work. So today is brought to you by a little bit too much caffeine. But you know what? We're going. We're moving. Yeah. We're here. So
you do what you need to do. That's right. Cheers. I've got my water. I had plenty of caffeine earlier today. So
how are you doing?
Yeah. Doing well. We have had a busy weekend, starting to prepare for rodeo, of course. As you know, as one of the co-chairs.
I know.
Yeah. So
I mean, it's here. It's just days away. I mean, I'm headed down to Austin tomorrow. So we have some co-chair stuff that we're going to be doing late in the day, but then the real prep work begins on Wednesday. And then everyone starts to arrive Wednesday night, but then also on Thursday. So we have an exciting week ahead of us in Austin, which I'm very excited about.
Yeah. Me too.
Yes, no, it'll be a great week. It'll be so much fun. We've got a lot of surprises. We have a new, venue up at the Kalahari Resort, so it'll be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. You're getting asked if you've packed yet.
No, haven't even started. Have not started. You know what? Actually, if you count not unpacking, because my luggage from my Denver trip is just sitting now in my bedroom. So, and nothing's unpacked. So technically I am packed.
Sure.
But you probably want me to run my stuff through a washer dryer type of moment, just like before. You do. Yes, but I've got shirts and stuff that I got to pack. I've got some geeky stuff and some fun stuff, and I feel like the nerd wardrobe needs to be broken out. So I'm excited about this. I'm excited.
Yeah.
So
nice.
So you tagged me in one of the most lovely interviews or sound bites that you've ever shared. It was so sweet what you shared about us and our friendship and our relationship as we developed our friendship throughout Lego Masters. But I wanted to ask before we brought in our special guest, though. Are you a podcaster now? I mean, are you just then being brought in to participate on all these things? I was so excited for you.
Yeah, thank you so much. So that was my friends, Leslie, a number of friends, but Leslie is the head of it, Enzo Consulting, and they do coaching and consulting out of Austin, or Enzo Coaching. Yeah, and they had seen Lego Masters last summer, and their coaching philosophy really focuses a lot on artistic communities. So they work with a lot of different artistic groups. They came from a theater background. That's actually how I knew them, was back in the day doing theater with Leslie, which is a lot of fun. We did Footloose together. And then Libby Dees. So the two of them, Libby and Leslie, Libby and I were in 2 shows together. Anyway, they started this coaching firm, and they invited me to be on the podcast.
Love that.
Which was so cool. Yeah. So I filmed the podcast conversation with them, I think in May. And then I had actually had a note to follow up with them and ask when it was going to air. And didn't get around to asking before it already was launched. And so they tagged me in this, and I was like, oh my gosh, so cool. So
you and I have done podcast interviews together before.
Yes.
But we've never done one live sitting on a couch with a microphone.
Yeah.
So did that change the dynamic at all? Or
that's a good question. Yeah, it was interesting to be in a room where, you're sitting on a couch comfortably across from the person, and beside the other person, there's basically two hosts, if you will, in the conversation with me. It was very comfortable and fun. That's and good. It was also just like delightful to get to catch up with them, because I hadn't talked with Leslie in a long time. So it was nice to just hear how she's doing. And yeah, the dynamic was, I don't know, it felt a little bit more professional maybe too. To me, like, we were going into a studio that they produced this podcast in. So it was great. Honestly, it's something that I've thought for a while, like, I would love to do a podcast. So, it was neat to see like the difference of doing that in a studio with people who are filming and editing it for you. So yeah.
Oh, editing that for you is key. Well, let's just be honest about that. That's probably the key. As all of the content creators and aspiring content creators, I would say content creators like Justin and aspiring content creators like myself, having someone do the editing for you would be clutch. So
for sure, yes.
But
that would,
I'm so glad that you had fun doing that. That was so.
It was great.
It seemed fun. I would love to watch where can I watch the entire podcast?
Yeah. Let me see if I can grab a link for you, and I'll share it. So, but yeah, it was, anyway, I'll look for it in a minute.
Cool.
But yeah, I'll send it to you directly, but if I can find it while we're chatting, I'll.
Yeah, no, definitely.
So anyway, it was a really, really sweet experience, and it was really fun to get to talk about the blend of the work that I do with Lego for content creation and stuff with the work that I do professionally with leadership consulting and coaching.
Yeah, that's so good.
Yeah. I'm seeing that this was scheduled. Yeah, so Mayo, when I went to oh, it's in the Discord. Yes. Thank you for sharing that. When I went to start this episode tonight, it said that it was like in the past. And I was like, I'm so confused because I set it up last night. So I think maybe something glitched when I set it up.
No, just.
But that's okay. So we're good now. And we've got people here, which is nice.
Yes, we're here. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah. And we've been consistently at 7:30. So hopefully most people have caught on. But thank you. I'm sorry about the confusion. And I hope that your live stream stuff went well, Mayo. So Mayo did a 24-hour live stream thing this weekend, which was so cool.
Oh my gosh.
And invited me to participate, but I just needed to rest. So missed out this opportunity.
We have a busy week ahead. So
we do.
I feel like I need to rest these eyes a little bit, put on some patchology gels a lot this week, because it's going to be, I mean, giddy
lots
up.
Of caffeine.
It's going to be a week. It's going to be a giddy up brick rodeo week. It is.
For sure. Speaking of brick rodeo, we have a friend who will be joining us tonight, who you will also see at brick rodeo, also from the enormous state of Texas. So let's welcome in Joe.
Hello,
Joe!
Hello, how's it going?
Hello, and a brick rodeo T-shirt at that.
I know.
Oh, yes. Yeah, I'm repping as much as I can. I'll be wearing it next week too.
I love that. I need to find mine. Mine is in I have so many T-shirts from so many cons, and I feel like I need to either make like that quilt thing, or there needs to be like a Lego equivalent of what to do with all of those con T-shirts.
Oh my gosh,
there's so many of them.
I mean, what I do is I wear all the different con T-shirts to all the cons. So I get to rep all the cons at each con.
Right?
So,
I love it.
Yeah.
This is my uniform now. So check out Will Heron designs. They're pretty cool. So
I know he's got some cool designs this year too.
For sure.
Yes.
Yay! I'm excited to see the design for this year's shirt.
I know we haven't released it at all. It's going to be a surprise.
Yeah. Joe, where are you calling in from?
I'm calling in from my house, but like John, I just flew in I'm coming from Poland. So I flew in. Yeah, I know.
Okay, Denver, Poland?
Yeah.
Also this morning.
This morning. Yeah. So we yesterday, and then we got in at about 3 a.m. And then, so like you, our suitcases were unpacked but thrown straight into the washing machine.
Yes.
So I am trying to get everything like washed and dried so that we can pack the car. So the minivan is already half packed. So my Brickworld Chicago layout is all in just boxes, and then I'm basically going to shove it back in my minivan tomorrow.
Nice. Yeah.
Very cool. I love that.
Unpack them from the boxes from Chicago or no?
No. So I was very careful about packing them. Some of them I unpacked because they hang out at the Katie Bricks and Minifigs here. So I need to go like fetch those from BAM and then like put them back in my car.
Oh my gosh.
Hopefully the octopus all stays together. I don't know if y'all saw that, but that one's a little
I saw a little comment about it just right now.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Sean in the comments was sharing about my competitor for movement. I told you your octopus would beat anger. Congrats. So I love that you've actually met Sean in person. I haven't yet, so I'm excited to eventually get to.
Okay. We had a good chat in Chicago. It was cool. The anger thing was awesome.
So cool, right?
So cool.
Yeah. So I do these weekly build challenges, and for that week, I'm gonna grab if I can find a little thing.
I love when Justin just disappears. And it's like they go into this portal in the Lego room and then come back with like this huge thing. And I'm like, luckily I know what that room looks like because I've been in that room multiple times. But if you didn't know, it's like how much Lego is in there, honestly.
Too much Lego. Okay, so I couldn't find the smaller one to bring, but anyway, this was 1 month. Okay, whoops. 1 month I did how to build a disc, and so this is my little robot DJ, and most people did like. I mean, this is bigger than most people's did. And I didn't do this for that monthly thing. I did this for something else. But most people did like a sun in the background or something, which makes sense because you're learning a small technique and whatever. His was the shoulder joint for anger. And I was like, are you kidding me? That's what you use this tiny little thing for? Like, it's so brilliant and amazing. And I love that's like where it's for you.
Dude, that build in Chicago was hilarious because all the kids would line up to be like, I want to watch it throw a tantrum again.
That's awesome. That is so fun.
I love that.
Well, and you were in Chicago. Did you go to any other conventions this year?
Let's see. I think Brickworld Chicago is the first time. I'm a school teacher, so during those months, it's kind of hard to peel away. Mm-hmm. Like last year, I was able to go to Slopes and then Bricks in the Six. Brick for Virginia. Yeah. So, and then this year I've only done Chicago. I really wanted to go to Cascade, but I couldn't quite. May is a really hard time to leave. Mm-hmm. So one day in the future, when the stars align, I'll make my way up there. But
that's on my list too, and it's always been at a time where we have a nephew's graduation, or like there's always something during that same weekend, and so it's just been tough. But I'm looking forward to hopefully getting to go sometime. But yeah, so you brought the octopus, and you obviously, as Sean had pointed out, won for best movement in Chicago.
Yeah, that was very, very wild.
So Joe is someone I look up to for learning about movement and technic building and structure and stuff. He's so good and so talented at this kind of stuff. And actually last year when it works, that's fair. Last year when I went to, or when I was working on the Wicked project, where I did the clothing and stuff, I'd actually called Joe and was like, hey, can we just talk about like some ideas of maybe how this could work? And it's fun because you taught me a whole bunch of things that I ended up not being able to use in the project based on how the project ended up going. But I just really appreciate with our LEGOMasters community how we can reach out to each other and be like, I know that you would know how to do this, or like, give me your opinion on this or whatever. So, and similar to you, you said you have all your stuff from Chicago still in boxes. I had packed all of the clothing items that we did that I did for the Wicked project in boxes, shipped it back to Austin, and it sat in the corner until today. And so finally I was like, if I'm showing it this weekend, I probably should just make sure that it's still there. So it was like mind-blowing.
Rodeo?
Yes, you do. I'm so excited. So I worked with a company called Hook and I, which is this incredible company here in Austin that does like couture fashion stuff all the way to like mascots and like a huge range of really, really cool outfits and things. And they are also loaning me a dress form so that I can actually have the skirt on the dress form.
Cool.
And then I'm working on, they're giving me some busts to hopefully have the shoulder piece and the headpiece and the glasses on, but they said the weight of them, they're like foam, may not hold up. And so depending on what I'm able to do, I'm gonna for sure show the skirt. But my hope is to at least show that, the glasses and the shoulder thing, and then ideally the butterfly thing. So
nice.
And if this sounds weird to you and you don't know what it is, I have a video on my Instagram that talks about it.
Check it out.
So yeah. Thank you. Yeah, I'm very excited to show it. But that was like the last item of my packing for Brick Rodeo. Not packing for, but like the mock side of packing. And so it was a relief to open all the boxes and see everything there. So I'll just have to remember on Thursday how to reassemble some of the things because it's been a few months. So yeah, we'll see.
No instructions.
Yeah, right. I know it's wild. So, well, what we're here today to talk about is this little show called LEGOMasters and episode 9, the penultimate. What's it called? The
greatest ball contraption.
Yes, greatest ball contraption. Is this they call this the semifinal?
Yeah.
Semi.
Yes. Semi-finalists, yeah. So, because the finalists would be next week. So, Joe, you and Anthony made it to the semifinals, top 4. Woo! It's so exciting. And
I was shocked.
I was shocked too.
Oh my god!
I just love messing with your face. I just love it so much. You're like,
when you first found out that you were getting on the show, did you expect that you would make it this far?
No, absolutely not.
No, you did not. Come on.
No, Anthony and I were like, well, we need to at least make it to episode 2, and this is probably as far as we're going to go. That'll be okay. Both of our wives were basically like, if you don't make it past the first episode, we will kill you guys. You'll have like gone on your silly vacation, and then only blah, blah, blah.
Oh my gosh.
But no, we like every episode we were just kind of like, oh man, I can't believe we like made it to another one or blah blah blah. And then every time we just kept going and going, and we were like, well, it's not really the competition. It was more just like that. Let's just build something wacky and fun each time.
Yeah.
We just kept hanging in there. So.
You more than hang in there. You were such strong competitors, and we loved weekly getting to see all of the cool things you were building.
God, yes.
And so this episode is super fun. So you walk in, and you see these giant balls. Do you remember like what you thought it might be or anything? Or
I mean, I remember they had all the hanging balls, and then we're just kind of, we had an inkling, but they also tell you, like, hey, you can't talk, you have to do big reactions. But I was just like, what is this going to be? We're like, are they going to like any number of 100 things were just rolling through their minds whenever they did that. And then before they even announced it, they asked everyone, like, how does it feel to be in the semifinals? And
oh, cool.
And so everyone, got to speak a little bit about that, and everyone is just so earnest and so kind and so complimentary of everyone, and everyone was talking about how it's just like, we're an amazing company, and how they're like, I'd love to see like there are other teams that maybe got eliminated, but that would rock this challenge, so it was just like, it was crazy. But then when they actually dropped all the balls down, we're just like, what's happening is this. It's like in the first episode when they did the explosions, is the same reaction where it's just like, oh my gosh, something's exploding, and this time it's like there's stuff raining down on top of you. And,
yes.
Yeah.
That is amazing.
It's pretty wild.
Yeah. Well, I have a video clip of that, so let's watch that. And I think it's the Will talking about the challenge. So yeah, let's take a look.
We're really gonna have a ball.
I'm a PE teacher. Ball is a part of my profession. Football, basketball, soccer balls, big balls, small balls.
Let me tell you about balls.
Wow.
This week, you will be building great ball contraptions. Your challenge will be to build a machine that transports a ball from point A to point B, where it will roll into a tube and travel into the next team's build.
All right. So, great ball contraptions, lots of ball puns and jokes about balls. So, silly fun, which I love that they include some of that in the episode too. Have you ever built a great ball contraption before this?
No. I remember, and like we looked around at each other like, have you built a great ball contraption? Or
yeah.
Like, no, none of us had really done
None
that.
of you had? Wow. Okay.
Probably Ben's like messed with mechanical stuff in that
of course
realm, but I don't know that like any of us had actually participated in the GBC module, because it's like it's really, really hard. Like there's a lot of testing, and then whenever we saw that it was ping pong balls, we were just like, oh crap, because like we were talking about how it's like even a ping pong ball, like the air conditioning can make it do something different,
right? Yeah.
So it was just all sorts, like we didn't know how this was going to go. It was just so absolutely crazy.
Yeah. So it sounds like to answer the question that came up on the screen here from Sean, no one had experience with GBC workshops or anything, from what it seems. Which is fascinating. And so talk about the ping pong ball thing. So what is a normal ball in GBC, and why is that different, or not easier, but why does the ping pong ball add challenge other than the wind and such?
So I think normally use the soccer ball element. It's got it's funny, but it's like the weight between a ping pong ball and the soccer ball. The soccer ball is actually slightly more.
Wow.
And then also because it's smaller and it's denser, like it's easier to control because it's not going to bounce erratically. So the nice thing is also because it's small, it fits within like about that 2-stud module. So you can use cheese slopes to make a trough, or like it's pretty easy to build something small to control it. But the ping pong ball is just really wacky because it's a large weird shape. It doesn't quite fit. There's actually a good clip in the show where it doesn't quite fit in like a normal amount of studs. Like, so if you build something that's like 4 studs with cheese slopes or 6 studs wide, it can like catch at various places. So it's just a really odd size, and it's not really meant to go in Lego necessarily. And like Jamie talks a little bit too, how it's like, it's not a Lego element. So it's not like anything has been designed to actually move it. So everything that you had to do for this challenge was basically like trial by fire and like test and test and test over and over and over again.
Well, in that test and test and test over and over again thing, we got to see live on TV, or not live, but regularly with all the teams, and also the challenges that you went through with that. So I'm going to show, this is one of the balls that came with one of the FIFA sets. Let me zoom in on mine. Let's see. Here we go. So this is the size of a GBC ball, to give you a sense. Very tiny. And the new balls that came with, this is a little bit of a tangent, but the new balls that come with the FIFA set and some of the other ones, like the new CMF, have this stud hole in them, but most GBC balls don't. They have a pinhole, like teeny tiny, that doesn't really affect things. And I don't even know that this stud hole would affect movement too much. And I'm curious if we'll see, I guess, as people start to try them out with GBCs, maybe we'll see at rodeo. But yeah, this size can fit in a much smaller hole. There's all different types of, or the weight, it's hefty, like in comparison to a ping pong ball for sure. And in the episode, if you didn't get a chance to watch, there's a moment where Jamie is holding a square cube that he made and fits the ping pong ball in it to show that it gets stuck. So it's not, ping pong didn't, I'm guessing Ping Pong is a company, whatever the company is that makes ping pong balls, didn't design it with Lego in mind for sure. So yeah. So interesting added challenge. And the other factor that we saw come into play and be talked about by a lot of the teams during this challenge was how they bounce ever so easily, and how they bounce in their own way. All different directions of things. So yeah, sounds like lots of added factors that would make it extra challenging, let alone the fact that GBC on its own is very, very challenging. So and Sean, who's in the chat, I think you'd mentioned last week, but maybe somebody else did, about how one of the missed opportunities with our episode, or with this episode, was maybe if they had shown an actual GBC module, not module, but a GBC setup where it's like it is at conventions and things. Which, that would have been interesting for people to see at home who have never heard of GBC or Great Ball Contraption. Typically at conventions, though, you can find at least one. I'm sure in Chicago you find multiples. And I know
they sometimes run like 2 tracks, but it'll be very, very long. Like it's forever long.
Oh my gosh. I'm always shocked when I go to a con and I see one, and then I realize like, and I feel like over the years they've gone from 1 track to then 2 tracks because of increased popularity. I remember like when I saw it for the very first time, though, I was like, oh, that would have been cool. But it makes sense because it is starting to increase in popularity. And then I kept wondering after the episode aired if like we're going to see more people get into GBC. And the next time that I saw it was over in Scareback when they had that whole huge table. And that was awesome. Like, I mean, it was really, really impressive. Like what, different countries and different builders with different all over the world were able to do. That was very cool.
That was really, really cool to see. And when I was picturing in my head what if they had a sample on screen during the show, I was actually picturing the one from Scareback. Now that I remember it. And they had some elements too where like individual guests could come over and use a remote control to help like shovel the balls in one module. So they did some intentional crowd engagement stuff too, which is pretty cool. And I think a lot of GBCs you see some of that, which is fun. And then Sean's saying we had one at an animal shelter show, a young Indie Lug member set up that was 8 feet long for a small show. That's really cool. Watching this episode today reminded me, I've always wanted to take one of these workshops and build a module because I think it'd be fun to learn how. And maybe I will try to do it this year. So we'll see. I don't know if there's one at Rodeo, but I think Slopes has one. So I'll check it out and see.
There's part of me right now, like I'm thinking like my mock for this week, like I have not been able to touch it the way that I really, really want to. And now I'm like, can I turn it into a GBC like component? And I'm like, there's a hole in the middle of it, and then it goes down, and I'm like, well, maybe I could. I'm like,
you got time.
Oh my gosh. If we were able to build things in 5 hours on LEGOMasters, I have a couple days to do this. I'm like, come on. I have nothing else going on this week.
No, you're good.
I can do this. Absolutely. Have you then, I hate to like jump forward though, but have you done any more GBC posts?
I was going to ask that too. Yeah.
I've actually not done any GBC. Well, actually, I take that back. So in Bricks in the Six, Snowball, shout out to Snowball. He does a great GBC module, like a clinic that he did up in Canada. That was awesome.
Cool, nice.
So, but that's the only one that I had like participated in necessarily. But I actually everything I build generally has some sort of movement in it, so I haven't done a GBC yet. Also, just because it makes it hard, because sometimes they're in separate rooms, and since I have to
that's a good call.
You have to make sure that you can always check in on your build. Like I had a build last year, Brick for Virginia, where like part of the top slid off for a second, and so I had to like repair it during the show. So you just always have to keep an eye on that stuff.
Yeah.
But now the person that Corey and Rebecca, spoilers, but they have a killer GBC module that uses a ping pong ball. It's also really great with and it was very interactive, because kids could pick up the ball and put it in the module, and it is super cool if you get a chance. I think they're at Brick Voyage, but they've got some really good videos of that online as well.
And they'll be at Brick Slopes as well. And I think last year they did it. It was very, very cool.
It was amazing.
So cool.
I think it was a glow in the dark component as well. There was a lot. So,
they had like a UV charger to charge the light up ping pong balls. It was awesome.
That's awesome.
That right.
Yeah. Yes. You make a good point about having to kind of be at the GBC table the whole time to check and fix and adjust. And I think that's true for really any movement. The ones that I've done, like my robot DJ, it spins. If it stops spinning, it stops spinning. It's not the end of the world. And that's a very easy one to fix. But yeah, I've not had to do it where I have like a bunch of different moving things all around. I've had a bunch of static builds all around, but yeah, that'd be different.
It's always like a bit of a challenge because it's either like if you go over to the GBC table, those guys all camp out and hang out together the entire show.
Yeah, whole time. Yeah.
And they also all bring like kits of spare parts because you have to change out the parts because the gears will either, teeth will either get chewed through or the one gears will melt. Yeah. Or if there's any friction between, like if there's parts doing this and they rub, it's going to look like there's angel dust all over their build. So they got to swap out, or like you can use Triflow. So a lot of people have to use oil in order to like keep the friction. So there's a lot of things So like the other funny thing with movement is like those GBC guys, whenever they're buying bulk parts, they're buying like 300 of a gear because that's a consumable item now for them.
Of course it is.
Right? Yeah, it dies down over time. Wow. That is fascinating.
When
go ahead.
I was gonna say, for the episode, then what were the special parts that we didn't get to see? Because usually there is like an area that's off to the side that's like, special parts for that specific episode. What were some of the things that they got? Nothing.
I don't think we had special parts. I think it was like go to the Technic. You know how the Technic side was under the dark staircase?
The staircase.
Where you could smash your head into it.
Yeah.
So, not anyone over 5'6" was not friendly to them at all.
It was basically like the big thing was you needed to go grab a hub and then you needed to go grab whatever motors you needed. Because it had to be mechanized in some way, and so that was kind of the special part was by that time, since there were 4 teams, like you could actually use like multiple hubs, which a lot of us ended up doing. Just because like you don't have extensions, so if you have like a long layout, which all of us did, then you have to have multiple hubs doing multiple things, and just gotta make it work.
For sure. That's a good point too. And so for the viewers at home, one of the challenges that we had early on was they told us we weren't allowed to have more than one hub if we were going to add movement to our builds, because they wanted to make sure that we were sharing and not that one person wasn't taking them all. And I had heard on a previous season that there was an issue where they needed more weight for something. I don't know if it was like floating on boats or something, but where one team realized those were heavy and grabbed a bunch of them to put on theirs.
That was episode 1 for us.
Oh, was that us? That was
Ben. That was Ben and Michael.
That was Ben and Michael.
They used those as ballast for their planet.
Because the planet tilted, and then they built like 4 hubs into the front. We didn't know. None of us knew that.
None of us knew. Okay,
but we would have done that for us.
Oh, yeah.
Remember?
I know.
Justin, we would have done that.
Mm-hmm. I like my Tilty Planet.
Approach.
I don't know.
I love her Tilty
Planet.
I loved the little thing on the side. No, that was so fun. So fun. So clever. Let's see. In the chat. You had to clean up after anger for the same issues. Yeah. The other. So I did some moving builds from LEGOMasters that are my mini builds from our season, and my Batman one. There's 2 portions that go up and down on it. And one of them, the last time I took it to display, I was like, what is all this dust on it? And then I realized, it's because it like was eating away at the, just the little tiny bit of friction with constant movement. So I had to replace all of the rails on the side because it had just like rubbed off enough, which is, my first experience with that. So I can't imagine on like a larger scale
that stuff.
That's good to know. Hopefully you don't know from experience. So going back to the challenge. So we know it's a GBC challenge. We know you're using ping pong balls. For those who didn't pick up on it yet, all of the modules or builds have to connect together so that Will Arnett will drop a ball on one side and it goes through all of their builds and then comes out on the other side. And so there were some kind of specific probably measurements or things that you had to have at the beginning and end to make sure that the ball can drop and that your ball will drop into the next person's thing. The other piece that Amy talked about that was important for this challenge was the storytelling piece. So do you remember if you and Anthony went through a couple different ideas for story, or if this was like an instant idea for story? And I do have a video that'll show you talking about your build. But yeah, if you want to talk about like the process of getting there, either with this one or even with other challenges too, of how you navigated that.
Yeah. Well, after we stopped giggling about the balls comment.
Balls. Yeah.
Because that clip actually goes a lot longer. It went way off the rails, but
you know.
But after that, no, I remember we sat down and we were like, okay, we have to do a bunch of moving things, and pretty quickly we were like, an amusement park has a lot of moving things. Like, we were like, I think we can do that pretty quick.
Yeah.
And there are a number of people that have done GBC modules of amusement park things.
Sure.
Like the Ferris wheel is a common one.
I've seen that one. Yeah.
Even though we didn't include that, we realized it's like, hey, this is an easy theme. Also, because you can go really wild with the colors.
For sure.
And then like when we were talking about it, it's like, okay, if we do these contraptions, like the amusement park thing, also it lends itself pretty easily to like character building.
Yeah.
So you can craft just like you have a wide swath of things you can do for a story. We actually hadn't really like come up with a great story concept necessarily. We're just gonna build a bunch of rides and then we'll kind of shoot more in the story in. And I remember like later he realized, like we were talking about how like I think he had a cousin that had totally done this where he basically had like ran away from his mom and was trying to ride the rides or something.
Nice.
Well, and so we're like, oh yeah, we should totally incorporate that. And so and we actually struggled with coming up with a name for the build at the end, which was funny. And so we eventually were like, well, the escape from mom was like the last thing, we were just like spitballing. So that's why we went with that.
I love it.
Like amusement park. But the concept came at least pretty fast because we knew that if we did an amusement park, you can build modules like an amusement park where you can have rides and then you can add or subtract pretty easily.
Sure.
So that way, since they're modular, you can kind of like, even if you need to like shift them, if we keep the height, we can kind of move them back and forth. And we also knew that like the end, like we wanted a 100% success rate on something for going to the top. Because like you said, they had specific measurements and they use those stanchions for those tubes. And so you had to make sure that it was always going to catch and then go out the other side. And so we knew that we could do that track going up, and then in between we could just cram as many things as we could come up with. And so that's why like a lot of people just went straight, or like some of us went straight linearly, and we were able to kind of like move around a little bit because we knew that if we like, okay, this is a success, then we can just kind of like add some kind of loop to go back to the middle if we need to, or whatever need be. But it was basically we wanted to give ourselves as many options as we could. I think that was such a smart approach. And I love that a fairground, there's limitless opportunities to add in another module or another idea as you come up to it, or as you need to add another curve or whatever. I think that would have been such a challenge to think through. There's some, depending on how you sell the story to the judges as well during your check-ins, then sometimes they'll come back to you and ask you like, why isn't this in there? You said this was going to be in there or something. So it also kind of gives you a little bit of freedom to say, oh, we're building an amusement park. There will be rides, not there will be a roller coaster and they could still like pin you to some of those details. But that's a really smart approach, especially too, given the amount of testing you have to do. I'm going to show the video. And I think this is, this video might be right before judging, but not when they're actually running the ball through. But this is y'all talking about Escape from Mom.
Escape from Mom. Johnny and his mom are out for a summer vacation at an amusement park, and John decides to go on a little adventure on his own.
The ball's gonna go up the anti-gravity funhouse, it's gonna go down the Woe coaster, and then it's gonna go up through the Flume of Doom.
Brickmasters, what do you think?
It's really impressive. I mean, the fact that you have that roller coaster right in the middle, it is inviting us into your story, and I get the theming right up front. And then you're trying such different movement. I love the spinning and that you tried the different colors to bring attention to it. And it seems like a clever way to ensure that your ball is going to make it into what I would say is your hero item. That lifting funhouse, it's really fresh.
I could have had a little bit more theming for the theme park. For example, make that funhouse actually feel like a funhouse. But overall, really great build, lots of ambition, and lots of exciting functions.
All right, so really exciting to get to see a glimpse of this. And in just a minute, or towards the end of our conversation too, we do have a video of the ball going through it, which is really fun to watch.
I have a question.
Yes.
How'd you come up with the name John?
I was gonna ask.
Okay, so Johnny, like, anytime we're like us being teachers, anytime we are like, oh, blah 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 blah, and we're trying to like make up some story, it's always like Johnny and Susie or Johnny and Sally. And it's just for some odd reason, you know, Johnny always gets into trouble. I wonder why.
Nice. Right.
Well, I'm not shocked about that. So honestly, I thought it was like, oh, we miss you, and then Justin was going to appear somewhere as well, and it would be like John and Justin. No, and then now to know that it's not, it kind of like breaks my heart a little bit. But
you know, it's okay.
Joe. I thought we were tight. I thought we were friends.
We didn't want to cast you as the runaway.
It's okay. You could have. I would have been, but we ran away from the show, so apparently, like, that was part of it. It was in theme.
Yeah. Escape from LEGOMasters. I like it. John, you and I can build that one for sure. I like
done.
it. I like it.
All right. We've got 2 days to get it done before Brick Brody.
We have plenty of time. That's like 48 hours. Yeah. That's like that's more hours than we.
That's practically like our finale build. We've got plenty of time.
We're good. That's awesome. So with the build and with the build process, how did you divide up the work? Do you remember kind of what approach you took with that, or?
Yeah, so as soon as we kind of nailed that down and we knew that we had like 3 or 4 items that were like, we knew we could build the spinner super fast.
Yeah.
So that was like, okay, we can just do that. And then I knew that the fun house was going to be kind of like, this will be the complicated one.
Yeah.
So that was like a lot of time. So I worked on those 2. And then we set a height with the roller coaster. So Anthony did the roller coaster, and he nailed it on that.
Excellent. Yeah.
And I remember we had to test out the roller coaster track a whole bunch because the ball would fall off or do crazy stuff. And so we luckily we used those like
flex tubes,
the lift arms and the flex tubes, so it made like a perfect guardrail. But it was so smart. It was great. Like, I mean, and the entire time we were building stuff, we'd just be like, what do you think about this? What do you think about this? Or like, ooh, how would you do this? And so it was just like a lot of good back and forth, just trying to figure out like, what do we do in between this like joke, like laughing about like what the kid would be doing when they're running away from stuff. And then I actually, the very first thing I built was the flume of doom at the back. Again, because we wanted 100% success rate at the very back end. And so we built that at the very bottom. So that way we were like, okay, we can, whatever we do, the ball will at least get to this low point and go to the high point, no problem. And then he did all the theming. He made that awesome log cabin and then added all the boats, and it looked super cool.
It's so fun.
He also did the theming with the characters, and he built like little stands, and like arcade stands. And then he even built like that little like green space in the front. And, obviously if we had more time, we would have done a lot more.
Oh, for sure. But
it was a really good tag team between, like, I did a lot of the moving mechanical things, and he was doing all the set dressing and making it, look pretty, and made sure it adhered to the story. So and then I felt bad. It got to a certain point where, we were testing, like I was testing things over and over, because I would seriously move things like one plate at a time for entrances or exits to each of the rides, and so I would just run it over and over, and at some point like, hey, can you add this? And I was like, I don't know if this is going to make the ball's actually going to go through. And so he was awesome. He actually took over just like all of the other stuff after that while I was just like testing out the fun house. And then also he figured out this clutch thing. We were talking about the width with the ball. So there's like a couple shoots on our build. Like you can see the green one actually. Right.
Yeah. Let's see if I can zoom in.
So.
I was gonna say, like, can we?
So you can see the green one, right?
Yeah.
Right there. We actually figured out that like if you peel the wall or push the wall just a little bit, you can actually change the speed the ball's going to roll down it.
Oh, smart.
So right before we would run it, he would like peel it a certain width. And then that way it would control the speed of the ball into the next object. So like, he did that at the very front.
Really?
Because we were worried that the ball would just bounce away at the front. So he had to shoot at the front in order to catch it. And then since it would just like lightly spin, then it would hit the next ride at the same speed every single time.
Yeah. Oh, so smart.
Yeah.
How long did it take you to test for that?
Oh, dude, so much. You know, like 50 to 60% of this was just testing. And
my gosh.
I kid you not, like there are parts of that build that look super ugly because we're seriously just moving one plate or like one slope at a time in order to get like you're just testing for every single possible bounce the ball could do. And it took forever. And like, frankly, when the ball was going through at the end, I was not 100% sure it was going to go through. Like we had like a 80% success rate by that point.
Yeah.
And, you know, between all, we were like, this is the best it's going to be.
Yeah, right?
We'll see.
We'll see. Yeah. So this challenge and the season 4 roller coaster challenge, which I think was also their semifinals challenge.
Yep.
These two, to me, feel like the hardest challenges in LEGO Masters. Do you think that's true? Do you agree? What are your thoughts there?
I would agree, just because I mean the roller coaster that in itself is hard because the roller coaster, you know, car, just like the ping pong ball, like they fall off, you know.
They do.
Or like,
of course they do.
The friction's not all like the friction on the track is not always consistent because you can shoot it through and it'll do one thing and something else. You know, so it's the same thing where you're just like trying to capture an object and control the speed. And then you're also trying to like replicate the same motion over and over again.
Yeah.
The nice thing about the roller coaster is you had like 2 or 3 ways to get the thing up. I mean, obviously we saw it like when Chris and Robert, right? Yeah, they did that cool mechanism. That was a little bit new, you know. But like with this stuff, you know, since a lot of us were out of our element to say, you know, it was just trying to figure out mechanisms that would look different but also be highly functional was tough. I felt like this was a little bit, I don't want to say tougher, but it's just really different. Like it's just such a different skill set.
Different.
So
well, and you've got the added factor of the ping pong ball as opposed to using a GBC ball that I think would maybe level that out a little bit more possibly. And then the requirement here of the moving of the, which maybe they had power functions to get the track up, but it was still a consistent power function thing, whereas this was like open-ended.
Yeah.
The other question I wanted to ask you was, have you had experience with roller coaster track and or with the treads for the log flume before this time? No.
Whoa.
Okay. Yeah.
Well, I think I used. Did I use track on any of the previous episodes? I don't.
Did you use it on the Wicked build?
That was the train track, though, right?
The train track.
We used the train track, but that was a structural component. I don't know that I got to play. I do remember when we went in this episode, I looked at all the elements that I hadn't used, and I was like, I just want to play with all of these because this will be maybe my last chance to do it. So that's kind of why we went and did some of those parts. But I had never really used like the tank tread or like the small tread. Or I wish you could see the back of the model though, because the chain link, you know, we'd obviously done a lot of chain link stuff earlier. It was the worst rat's nest ever because I just built this huge, like there's basically like 5 to 7 gears or chains overlapping with each other.
I love that part.
It only used, I think it used like, I basically did 2 motors connected to each other, and then the rest of it was just all chained working off each other. But you had to do it that way because the timing had to be exact.
Just so perfect.
Timing exact, then it would come apart. But it looked so bad. It was not a 360 build, and I'm really grateful for that.
I really wish that there was like a post episode to every episode that's like behind the build. And that it's like, but it dissects and it's like, what were you thinking about that? Like, what is this? Because there are so many moments, I think, at ours, and it's like, do not open that door. Do not open that door.
Nope,
you do not want to see what's behind it.
Yeah, I kept talking is like, there's a whole YouTube channel that you could like. There's a whole bunch of revenue you're missing out on by just doing like you do a 360 build and then just go what it does.
I totally agree. It's so good.
For sure. Yeah. It makes me think of Untucked on
that's what I was thinking.
Drag Race. Yeah. So going back to the episode, I'm gonna just briefly share
Unbuilt. Sorry.
Unbuilt. Oh, I like
I have to stop. You go.
I'm going to briefly share the descriptions of kind of what the other teams built, since we don't have photos and videos for all of them. So Ben and Michael's story line was the lost meatball, and they had a meatball that was working its way through different kitchen obstacles to get to the end. And so it had it started on the plate of food on spaghetti that would fall through. Then it landed into the dishwasher, into the sink, where a scrub brush was brushing in a circular pattern around a frying pan that would move it around and drop it through. Then it went, I think, up a crane,
a grapevine.
The grapevine, that's right. It went up a grapevine. And then the final piece was there were different cans in the cupboard that were pushing it up and down. So as one can would push it up, it would kind of raise. The next one would come up and it would go down and it would move slowly over to finish out the other side. So that was Ben and Michael's. Super silly. They had these really cute little character builds too that were built into the whole thing, which I didn't notice the first time we watched. So it's fun to get a rewatch today and pick up on that. Sage and Ian had the tale of Sage and Ian. So they were talking about their LEGOMaster's journey. And they had 3 storybooks at the beginning leading to the mouth of a dragon. And the 3 storybooks were to represent their LEGOMaster's journey. I think the first one was Sage being invited to the masquerade ball. So it had what looked like Cinderella's blue shoe. The next one was... I can't remember, actually. I think that was the second one. I can't remember the first one. And then the last one was the dragon, which was the Technic dragon. And that was kind of them facing their big fear of Technic and movement and everything with this specific challenge. Once it went through the belly of the dragon, which the way they built that too, and we'll see this actually in the clip in just a minute, it was see-through, so you could actually see the ball going through, which was a really smart design choice. And then it would go up a ramp similar to your log flume. Then it went to Corey and Rebecca, and theirs was, and I'm not, I guess, going in the order they showed them on the screen during the building phases. Corey and Rebecca went off of the idea of children's books, and there's a specific children's book that they read to their kids that I'm guessing they were building it off of the storybook If You Give a Mouse a Cookie, which is, there's a series of these other books. And so this one actually might be from it, but I think they made up their own kind of following that framework. But it was If You Give a Lion a Hairbrush. And so the idea is you give a lion a hairbrush and it brushes its hair, and then it gets embarrassed about how big its ears are. So it puts on some headphones or some earmuffs, and then that makes it want to go skiing. So it goes skiing down a hill and then gets cold and thinks, I want some hot cocoa. So it has some hot cocoa, and that makes them think, you know what, where are cocoa beans grown? They're in Costa Rica. Let's go to Costa Rica. So they travel there, and then they end up playing soccer. So all of that wove into a series of different elements that they went through. But the ski slope that they went on was actually a roller coaster that went down in a big, long corkscrew. And then it would dump off into the cup of hot cocoa that would tip over and move them up through Costa Rica into a thing that would punch to shoot the ball. And the thing that was most interesting about theirs to me was Corey had built something that I think we were calling a finger wave.
Yeah, the finger lift.
Finger lift. Awesome. And so it was like, this is going to be my terrible example, but it was like this, where these would just like move. And I think they would go in a full circle, but obviously I can't do that with my hand. But it would do this, and the next one would pick it up, and the ball moved so smoothly all the way up that line. It was like, how did you do that? So that was really cool. And I think in their build that they showed at Slopes, I think they had that mechanism, didn't they?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they had one, I think, for the spring mechanism for that module. Yeah,
that's right.
It was super duper cool. Extremely hard to time because you have to set every single gear, and then you have to make sure that you don't let them slip, because same thing. Then you have to do all of them afterwards.
Yeah. And here's Corey in the chat. Hi, Corey. Saying roller coasters have purpose-built parts, and we had to come with everything on the fly with whatever we had available. And that's a really good point. Yeah.
This is the second time that Corey is not able to join this. And this is also the second time that he enters the chat to then comment on the subject in discussion. Like right now, he has there's a new Corey and Rebecca in the world, and he is too busy roasting or putting all these comments, and I'm going to roast him right now for that.
I'm waiting for Corey to give us the exact measurements of the ping pong ball and everything.
Yes!
To see, he knows so much more about that than I do.
Meanwhile, Rebecca's like, Corey, come on. This is our child.
Yeah. I'm seeing here too, so others recognize the reference there. So give you a mouse a cookie, if you give a moose a muffin. Such fun books, and I thought that was a clever idea for their build. And then Anthony and Joe, we talked about Escape from Mom, and is that all 4? That's all 4, yeah.
That's all 4.
So they all had to connect together, which is super fun, and all had to move smoothly. And during this episode, there were multiple times when different teams seemed to be struggling or having some challenges that at least the way the editing magic came up with. And so one thing that I really loved, and I wanted to give a shout out here for Sage and Ian, was there was a moment when, and I think that I talked to Sage and Ian about this afterward last year too, but there was a moment when they were both really stressed, and you could see that Ian in particular was really starting to freak out, and Sage just jumped in and took charge and moved them through their challenge that they were running into, which had to do with their conveyor belt that was going through the mouth of their dragon. And it's so fun that the cameras were able to capture the moment that they were able to get it fixed, and then capture the moment that Ian was like, oh my gosh, you're a lifesaver. Like, it was such a wonderful moment. And Ian also had said in the episode about how Sage took lead and how proud he was of his sister. And I loved that sweet moment between the two of them. And he talked about how she's the younger sibling, that he looks up to her. It was really, really sweet. But they ran into issues with their books and the bouncing of the ping pong ball. It may not actually go straight down and roll directly into the chute that they needed it to. And if it gets off, it's gone and it's over. Corey and Rebecca ran into some issues with the spinning
the spiral
roller coaster.
The track.
And truthfully, if you've never built with roller coaster track, you have no idea how challenging it is. Like we already talked about, to make sure that they can keep running. Someone in the chat had said that have yet to get theirs to work more than once. And it's so true that it's so challenging. And the ever so slightest movement or adjustment of a stud can make that entire thing stop. So, hey, wait. What?
Oh my gosh!
Hey!
Congratulations.
Welcome, new baby!
I mean, welcome!
I love. So fun. Corey,
stop the presses.
Yeah.
I mean, that's hot off the press. That's welcome to the world.
Yes. Much love to you and to Rebecca and to baby, and cannot wait. I'm sure there will be pictures in our WhatsApp. And yes, cannot wait to see y'all at Slopes in a little bit too, which will be so fun. But congratulations. So total derail, but Corey and Rebecca.
Worth the pause.
Yes.
Worth the pause.
So yay.
See, now we know he was doing this all along. He was building up to this. He wanted this. Mm-hmm. I get it.
Yeah. I would say that's the ultimate redemption.
I got you. Mm-hmm.
And never fear, he also included the measurement of the ball. So thank you. Good job, Corey. That's awesome. I love it so much. That makes me so happy, and I know you're laughing with us, which is wonderful.
That means the first thing that his new baby is watching is us talking about LEGOMaster.
Oh my god!
Oh my god! I love
it.
Welcome to the world.
Yeah, this is what you have to look forward to. Oh my goodness, that's delightful. Oh, that's so delightful. Lots of congrats for you in the chat, Corey. If you don't see them, you should definitely see them and pass them on to Rebecca as well. Oh my gosh, so fun. So let me see what other note I had. Oh, the other note I had was it all comes down to this.
Yes.
Which is said at least 20 times in this episode by Will. And then they make a joke about how he says that in pretty much most episodes, but for sure across all the seasons, which is just ridiculous.
More than what was shown in the show. Like
I'm sure.
Slipped it in
non-stop.
every single comment. It was absurd.
I'm sure the producers in his ear were like, one more time, and again, and again.
There's much eye rolling to be had on the set.
I love it. Oh, I love it so much. So Corey and Rebecca, their issue was that roller coaster thing, and they came up with a really smart approach to help address some of the speed, because it would also speed up as it went down, which made it less stable. And that was putting on these, I don't know what you'd call them. I have them.
They're the 6x wings with clips. They're in the like the Jedi interceptors.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I was like, I have these in a Star Wars set. I know. That makes sense. But it was such a smart thing to put around on the corners of where that track was going around to kind of slow it down as it was going. So then we talked about Sage and Ian, Corey and Rebecca.
Another thing on the track. So like what Corey was talking about, like it's kind of hard because those specific track elements are supposed to be flat, and so I guess they were deliberately kind of twisting them a little bit. Is super cool because like when it worked, it looked awesome.
Yeah,
but it's tough because like they didn't have an element that actually had a gradient change or like that twisted like that. I think they do now, if I'm not mistaken. But so again, they were being trailblazers.
Yeah, that's awesome to hear too, like how you all were able to manipulate what you had in person because even what you said about the curve thing, the shoot. I was like, what's the word? The shoots and how you're able to address that too. So then Ben and Michael's challenge with theirs that they showed on screen was the cans that were going up and down. All of a sudden, right towards the very end, like 8 minutes left, started to not actually working the way that it was supposed to, and so they ran into scrambling to fix it and address it, but having some issues with that consistent movement. And I would say even with these like little tiny things that I've done a very simple movement for, if it gets ever so off, it can also just like completely freeze and not work, which can be super frustrating. And so the more that you run these things, which you have to do for testing, the more risk you run into with the gears loosening or tightening in areas that you didn't need them to and whatnot as well.
Yeah, there's like two like tough things with that is like whenever you build a mechanism, if you brace it properly so it can't come undone, if it somehow does come undone, you can't access it to swap out the gears.
Oh, that's a good point.
If you sandwich it between two bricks or something. One of the things we were worried about is when you were done, you had to move the table. And when you move the table, there's little LED strips and stuff.
I know.
So it would shift your build. And so that was kind of some of that. Like, I think we actually tested kind of like jostling a little bit just to make sure.
Yeah.
But it was really, really hard to plan for that. I remember because when Ben and Michael's, the cans stopped working, we were like, how is this possible? Because it ran perfect. It ran perfectly for so long. And we were just like, they're going to blow everyone out of the water. And thinking back now, because now that I've like done a little bit more with powered up stuff, I also wonder sometimes if like the actual motor, like if you run it really hard over and over and over, you can actually wear out and overheat those motors. And sometimes I wonder if like that was part of it, and then like that caused some of the linkage to get messed up because it stopped spinning at the same speed. So there's any number of things that can go wrong. But I remember like one of that happened. I was like, you gotta be kidding, because it looked so cool and it ran so smooth. Same with Rebecca's like that. Like once they had that track going, it looks so awesome going into the cup, and the finger lift is super cool.
I'm just sharing some of the fun comments that are in here, and that we're imprinting on baby, which is fun. It's the factor too about having to move your builds. That was something I remember just with the Batman challenge being nervous about, because we were having some issues with our motor not working. And it's one of those things where, you know, if you remember back to season 1, when one of the teams was moving and they bumped a Lego piece on the ground and it broke half of their building that just like toppled over.
Yeah.
That like people think of it in that regards of like the risk of moving it, of things falling apart, but not the risk of like a gear shifting ever so slightly to the left and now it doesn't actually connect and the teeth miss each other or whatever. Yeah, all of those things, so stressful. And then also they have to line them all up. So lots of movement with these builds that have to happen before the actual time of it going. So let's jump ahead to watch the video of it moving through your build. Actually, before we do that, I had another question for you, Joe. Can you tell us about the challenge that you were running into with the foothouse? Because it was stressing me out tonight watching, and I was just like, I've seen this episode, but I'm like, ugh.
So, I mean, it's the same thing that I remember Corey is working on this too, is just getting the timing. So like, remember when I said it was like a rat's nest in the back?
Yeah.
Every single time I would add, so it was actually like, it was a wheel, but then it had two sets of like arms on both sides. And then I like, those were threading through. There's actually like bricks in between them in order to catch the ball. But then once I would, like, I had to like carefully place the arms, thread the wheel, and then I had to make sure that I like actually wrapped the chain around and then did the same number of chain links for each one. And then every time I would add one, if I missed one, then I had to go back. Or if I realized I missed one like 2 wheels ago, then I had to go back and undo it. So it was
that's crazy.
It was, well, and like to be fair, like Jamie told me at one point, he's like, you know, if you scrap it and do something else, that's okay. And then I had another, like, a producer came by and you're like, you know, it's okay to like, you can just like push that off the table and do another one, you know. And then like another producer's like, hey, you spent a lot of time on this. It's okay if you dump this and do something else. Because and I was like, fine, I'm gonna spend more time on it.
Digging my heels. I love that. I love that. I appreciate what they were going for there to give you freedom to not feel like you're going to be read on this not being there. But I'm wondering if we'd been asked, I feel like I would have dug my heels in too. I feel like I would have been like, no, we're going to make this work. I don't know.
I don't know. I probably would have been, well, then what's your idea?
Yes.
I'm like, everybody's got all these opinions about what I shouldn't build and what should I build. I'm sorry. Like,
sorry.
Like, do you want to switch places? Do you want to get it here? I would. Oh God, I would have like.
Well, and it was funny too because when that moment happened, you know, and like I had one of like the ping pong ball shot out. That I'm sure you guys talked about this on other recaps, but like there's this giant boom crane with the camera.
Yes.
And when you're in trouble, it goes and it like swoops down in front of your face. And I remember testing it, you know, and I was like doing something, I was freaking out. Anthony was like, "Don't move your head, bro." And I was like, "Why?" And then I saw the camera was like looking down over my head, looking into the mechanism. I was just like, it's gonna be fine. It's gonna be fine. But to be fair, I mean, with producers and Jamie, they were also super, like, they were really supportive. You know, they're like, you don't have to do this to yourself. But like Jamie and Amy gave such amazing feedback every single time. Like I always will say that, like, every time I talk to those two, it's like hanging out with my university professors and like going to school. So they're like some of the best people ever. Like they're absolutely wonderful and they really are super nice. So but it was especially tough in that one just because you're like, this is a total make or break.
It is. Oh yeah,
for sure. And it's the stress level on this episode was really impacting me tonight, and I wasn't expecting it to. And I think the first time we watched it a year ago, this was the only night that we actually didn't have a watch party for. And so Philip and I went with our friend Sean to a restaurant, and it was like the three of us in the corner, and they put the TV on. And I think even for part of it, we were like, can we get the sound on, please? Like, so I think that also made it like different to get to watch it this way. For sure. But it just felt like everything rided on it had to work flawlessly, and yours affects the next one in line, or could be affected by the one before you. So stressful, but also one that I think would be super fun to get to do. So let's take a look at once we get through the judging. So the judging, to be clear, what I'm saying there is they each talked to the judges about and described their builds like we saw Anthony and Joe do, but that wasn't actually the ball going through it. So they had the segments where they all four went through their stories, and then they lined them up, and this was also a huge factor in the judging of whether or not it would make it down. So let's take a look, and it starts with yours, and it continues with another team. So let's watch those two now.
Away we go.
Come on, go.
All right.
You do it. It's in there. Yep, it's in there.
Traveling up the fun house now.
Come on.
Going up. It's going up.
Suspense building as it's going up.
Pop out of this roller coaster.
Come on.
Up and out.
Come on, Johnny.
Here it comes. Traveling down the track.
Down
Let's
the
go.
roller coaster it goes.
Okay.
Get up there.
Oh, here we go. Making its way up.
Oh, my God.
Going smoothly, very slow.
Joe's got
Suspense
free
is
hands
building.
going.
Come on, Johnny. Come on.
Is it gonna
Will it
make
make
it?
over the
Is it
edge?
aligned
Will it make
perfectly?
over the edge?
In it has. Let's go. Made it through.
Anthony and Joe's worked perfectly, and we're scared to death.
We can't be the first team to mess up.
Here we go. Right into Sage and Ian. Oh, and it got through the dragon's mouth.
I am so happy. It actually goes through the dragon's mouth. It actually worked. But it still has to make it up the beanstalk.
And will it click on? Oh, and it is going up.
Oh my gosh, it actually
Up.
It's a lot of vibrations. A lot of vibrations.
It's shaking. Oh! Hold on. It caught itself.
It fell, but it caught it, which is amazing.
I can't believe it perfectly fell back to how it started.
And it didn't bounce.
I am jumping up and down like I just won the Super Bowl.
Oh my God.
But it still has to make it up the track.
You can do it. A lot of vibration.
Stop vibrating. Here we go. It just did a little double in. It made it.
The stress. One of my favorite things in that clip is watching you, Joe, and your excitement, like jumping up and down and everything. It's just like, oh. And I would imagine just from the previous episodes that we saw, everyone was probably just rooting for everyone else's to go well. Like you all want everyone to succeed. No one wants something to not work the way it's supposed to. So. What a joy. Do you remember how it felt when the ball fell down with Sage and Ian's? Like, did you all have this? Yeah.
Everyone jumped, and everyone was freaking out just because it was like such a pin drop moment because we were like, what's going to happen? Like, it was really, really, and I mean, you see Ian and Sage are just like bouncing and like they're. So it was a very, very stressful, very intense moment. I remember also like, so again, since we're watching this and we're behind our build, like in that fun house, like I couldn't see what was happening, and I was just relying on Will to telegraph what was happening.
Oh my gosh, that's funny.
So we were just like freaking out. We're like, "Oh, what's gonna happen? We'll see what happens."
Yeah.
So it was
so funny.
But yeah, every time it would make it through a mechanism, everyone was cheering just because we. And that was the best part was like when you finally get to see everyone's stuff, and it's because everyone's builds are really, really cool. Like even if something got stuck, like, like I feel like Corey and Rebecca and Ben and Michaels, like the last, like the finger lift and then the cans, those are the coolest mechanisms in the whole episode.
So incredibly cool.
So it was like, it was really, really, really fun to watch, but super stressful. Like everyone was on their toes the entire time.
Yeah, it was so fun to watch and just see everyone being excited about watching the ball go through yours and then through theirs. And I think that just it shows and the truth of the spirit of the show and of the people that go on the show and how much we really do care deeply about each other and want watch each other succeed. And I feel like that's the vibe that we get at conventions, like with Sean, teasingly jabbing you about the movement, but also throwing in there a huge congrats and talking about his frustrations with roller coasters, but then giving a huge congrats to Luke for his massive coaster in Chicago. It's like everyone goes to these conventions and you're so wowed, but you also want to see everybody else succeed. It's not for the awards. It's not for all those pieces. Of course, you're competing. You want to stay. But for me, my motivation was like, I want to keep staying in the show because I'm having fun.
Absolutely.
I'm loving this experience.
Yes.
I wasn't really thinking. I remember at one point the producers during one of the filming segments had asked us, and I bet they did this with all teams, but like, what would you do with the money? And I was like, I don't know. That's not even really been on my mind at all. And I feel like I need to have a good answer, but I haven't really even considered this. And I mean, maybe if it were $1 million, it'd be more of like in your head.
Right.
Not that 100,000 is to snub your nose at by any means, but it's it just, for me, it was like, I want to stay in as long as possible and with these incredible people. So
I was there for the vibes.
Yeah, I like it.
Exactly. Yes, you were.
Absolutely. And providing part of the vibes too, which is fun. So in this, we unfortunately don't have a clip to show this, but the next two, it was also awesome to watch it go all the way through. Corey's and Rebecca's had two little moments with the roller coaster where it slowed down enough that it had to stop and get a little finger tap to continue going through. But it still made it from beginning to end. And then Ben and Michael's also had an issue where when it got to those cans that seemingly were working perfectly throughout the episode, ended up just like being stubborn. And so what I liked was they were able to show him turning the gears. I mean, we didn't see his hands, but you could tell that he was turning the gears that was still moving them up and down. So it wasn't like he had to pick up the ball and move it. It was actually still making the bricks do the movement for him. But so heartbreaking to watch in both cases where you're like, I know the effort and time and impact, I know everything that went into the building process with this, or can imagine everything that went into the building process with this, and how talented of builders they are, to have those things just not work exactly the way you want to it's got to be tough. But really cool to see it be dropped in on this side and actually come out on the other side and go through 4 full, really cool stories. So zooming to the end, we've got 3 teams that are going to be making it into the finals of the 4. And the first team to make it into the finals is you!
Joe! Anthony,
Yes, well, yes, of course. Y'all, I should say. Anthony and Joe. So major kudos. And it was so fun and honestly, so well-deserved. I was not surprised at all that you were going through, and so very happy for the both of you. So talk about how you and Anthony got paired together for this show, or how that all started for y'all.
So it's kind of funny. We had been working at the same school together, but I had just switched to new campus, and we have a mutual friend, Jason Majidi,
who's amazing. Yeah,
who's amazing. He's absolutely amazing. And Anthony had talked to me. He's like, man, I'm doing this application, but I need to find another teammate. And he's like, Joe just joined the LUG a month ago, but he works at your school, And he's like, wait, that guy? And we had seen each other for the first time at Brick Rodeo. Or not the first, but I saw him with these 2 giant boxes of bricks going up the stairs in the hotel. And then he saw me in I had some new Lego shirt on, and we were like, what are you doing here? And he's like, what are you doing here? So we're super confused. And then that kind of hit off the us realizing that we're Lego nerds. But then when our friend Jason was like, hey, you should talk to Anthony about this thing, and I was like, what's LEGOMasters? And then he was like, just talk to him about it. And then that's how we started our application.
Oh, I love that so much.
It was because I was very new. So my son had just turned 4, and that was my reason to like bust all the Lego back out.
Yeah.
And so like I had built like UCS Star Wars stuff, and like I had always had, you know, like I always had a backlog of things like in my closet. So when I met my wife, she's like, "What's this weird thing? Like, at least you have Lego in your closet, not actual skeletons." You know? But,
right? Lego skeletons.
But yeah, so I like just came out of my dark ages and started building again. And then when Anthony and I started this application, that was like our first time kind of building together.
Yeah.
You know, but it was super fun because like, okay, Anthony's got a crazy artistic mind. Like he has a wonderful understanding of like architecture and just like general artistry or sculpting. Like
sculpting is so good.
He does not. He's so humble about it.
He is.
Like, he's such a beast. And so when we started working on this stuff, I was like, I'll just make weird mechanisms and like we'll just kind of tag team, and it worked out being a good partnership like that because we were able to like do things that the other, you know, like we both had strengths that would play well together. And then we just started doing the application, and we were having like a lot of fun with it, and then it just kept they just kept telling us to come back, which I was like
awesome.
I was shocked.
That's awesome though.
Yeah. And then like flash forward to that moment, and like every time we move on, we're just like in shock, you know, like we're just like there's stressful reaction because they're like, how did we make it here? So
I love it so much. So how much time would you say you were able to, or like how many months were you able to build together before going on the show?
I mean, we filmed in October. Yeah, like it was a couple weeks, like basically the audition process. And that was it. Like we started just kind of like putting stuff together for the audition process. And that was my first time building mocks. And so I'd send him a picture and it's like, does this look like something?
Nice.
And then basically doing the actual process that I don't know if we can talk about, but that was our first time actually building something together.
Yeah.
But it was a ton of fun. And like, we had a good system of like sorting parts and then like understanding like, we were always really good about like we would spitball a bunch of crazy ideas in the first minute or two, and then we'd be able to settle on one of those ideas, and then we were really good at like, okay, I can build this half, you can build this half, and then stick it together. And so it just kept working out like that. It worked really, really well.
Nice. I feel like what you said about him being really humble about his skills and everything, I saw that very true a week ago when we were chatting with him, and I told him I remember seeing one of your sculpted builds before we actually started filming for the show and thinking, holy cow, he's so good at this. And he was like, what, me? Anthony, yes, that's you, of course you. And I've been asked in panels many times where people have said, if you had to pick someone else from your season to be your partner, not John, who would it be? And I remember one time I said Joe, and one time I said Anthony, because I really look up to both of you and really value both your building abilities, but also your hearts. You are genuinely good people, and I can just have a blast with y'all most of the time. But truthfully, like every time I've spent socially with y'all, I've always been really, really happy to. Y'all are just great. So, well, thank you. So you all went through first. Then we hear Sage and Ian are going through next. And so it's down to the last two teams, Ben and Michael, Corey and Rebecca. And it came down, unfortunately, to the storytelling because they both had really fantastic builds, really fantastic ideas. They both had some minor glitches in the way that things moved. And Ben and Michael just edged them out barely and were able to go through to the end. And so next week is the final or the finale. And the three teams going through are Anthony and Joe, Sage and Ian, and Ben and Michael. Congratulations again. Very well deserved for all of you and to Corey and Rebecca. Incredible watching the whole season, and they did some incredible, amazing things, and even in this episode did some really incredible things with their build. So So, wonderful episode, so much fun. Now we're leading into the finale, which will be really exciting, and we will be having a special episode, and I'll share more with y'all about that later, which is fun, but really excited about how that's going to come together.
Yeah.
But now we are all headed off to the real world again.
Sorry, did you just do that, Justin?
Did I do what? What did I do?
My child was peeking in.
Child was peeking out of Jamie, right between Jamie and Amy. This face just appeared.
Hey, buddy, it's good to see you. But I didn't see you. But hi.
That was
That's awesome.
The door goes up.
I literally have looked away at like the wrong moment for sure.
That was funny.
Anyhow, so yeah, wrapping up this this episode, but excited that we'll see you in just a couple days at Brick Rodeo. Joe, where else can people find you after this episode?
Well, first of all, I'm excited to see you guys and everybody else at Brick Rodeo.
Yes.
So this was like the starting point for me doing Lego. So it's always lots of fun. You can find me. My username is AVG Joe Tinkering. There on the screen. So that's Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, all those social media things. I don't really know how to work all those things, but I try to put pictures and videos up there.
Yes, that works.
So you can also find. I've got a Rebrickable page. So I recently launched. If you're into Dune, I recently launched a Book Nook set of
it's so
instructions.
good. Yeah.
Thanks. Yeah. So you can find stuff like that there if you want to buy instructions, or I've got a lot of instructions for free over there too. And then I've also got a Lego Ideas page. If you're a fan of The Mummy, you can go vote for that. The hope is to it'd be cool to get that in time for the 2027 movie, since they're having a reunion of the whole cast from the 1999 Mummy.
Awesome.
Heck yeah.
Yeah. So you can check that out. But yeah, or come see us, obviously at Brick Rodeo. Come by and say hi. Like, we just love to chat with everybody. So definitely, don't be afraid to come by and chat with us. We might talk too long at you, but we're always happy to see you guys and hang out. I'm actually, if you're wanting to learn a little bit more about Powered Up, more some movement stuff, I'm giving a presentation on Friday. I think at 3:00.
Awesome.
So you can catch that as well. There's actually a whole bunch of people giving really great presentations. So you can totally have your fill of learning a whole bunch of stuff throughout the clinic. Especially like Ian and Sage are giving a couple talks because they're fancy people, obviously. So, But yeah, so you can find all that stuff there, and then hopefully I'll be at more conventions this year.
Nice, yeah.
But I'm just looking forward to hanging out with people, especially like you two. Like Brick Rodeo is always fun because we all get to hang out and get dinner and catch up and see what's going on. So if this is your first time tuning in, these are two very lovely people and very positive, wonderful folks in the community. So definitely check them out.
Thank you. And thank you again for joining us. It's such a treat to get a chat with you, especially with you being on weird time zone, jet lag, whatever's going on in life, with also the whole family probably experiencing it too. Really, really appreciate you making the time today. John, I will see you too in just a hot minute.
I'll see you in like 72 hours. I mean,
right?
we should just have had like a countdown to Brick Rodeo in like the upper right hand corner the entire time. We should have
just stress you out a little bit more.
Just a little bit. Just a little bit.
Yeah,
it's fine. It's fine. It's gonna be a great week.
It is. It's going to be wonderful. So, well, thank you everyone so much for joining, all the people in the chat and the people watching later. This has been such a pleasure, and I can't believe that we're through episode 9. Come back next Monday, and we will have the season finale episode. So, yay! Awesome. All right, thanks, y'all. Have a great week. Cool. We'll see some of you at Brick Rodeo. Build kindness.
Bye, guys.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.